Hello, and welcome to another virtual workshop. Today we are discussing how to talk to your children about sex. While talking to children about sex can feel uncomfortable for some, research tells us that parents and caregivers who engage in regular conversations about sex with their children are more likely to raise children who are healthy, safe, and avoid high-risk sexual activity. With the amount of sexualized language, images, and behaviors children are exposed to in the media today, it is important to share information about sex with children both early and often, making sure that the information shared is truthful, developmentally appropriate, and aligns with your family's value systems. Talking to your children about sex is a lifelong conversation, one that incorporates such topics as health, relationships, intimacy, and consent. By creating an environment of love, honesty, and support, parents and caregivers can have healthy conversations about sex that affirm children's need for unconditional love while sharing information about important values like respect, integrity, boundaries, and making appropriate, safe choices. Having a conversation about sex with your child does not mean you are given permission to have sex. It simply educates them about sex and sexual relationships. For those who may not be sure about where to start their conversations about sex with their children, here are some tips and strategies that are both informationally sound as well as age appropriate. Begin by shaping your conversation around their age. For younger children, parents can start conversations with their child about sex by giving age appropriate books on anatomy and puberty. After they finish the reading material, ask your child if they understand what they read or if they are confused about anything. While talking to your child, it is important to use correct terms for body parts. Nicknames and slang can only confuse a young child as they gain more information. For children in middle school, it might be good to start out by talking about various types of relationships people have. Ask them to give examples of the types of relationships they have with people they encounter. By the time children are in high school, it is now appropriate to talk to them about girlfriends and boyfriends, sexual desires, and whether or not they think they are ready to have sex. Remind your child that it is normal to feel embarrassed or uncomfortable when discussing these topics, but that there is nothing to be ashamed of. It also gives parents an opportunity to dispel any myths or questions your child may have or heard. Open communication at this stage will allow your child to feel comfortable talking to you when situations around feelings, love, and sexual relationships occur. Be honest and straightforward. When your child comes to you with a question about sex, no need to worry. Take a breath and congratulate yourself for being an open and receptive parent because otherwise, your child would have asked another adult or peer. It is important to know that when your child engages you in a conversation regarding sex, that this is a sign that they feel comfortable asking you these questions, which means that he or she trusts and respects you. You can ask them what they do know about the subject in question and try to fill the gaps in their knowledge. For younger children, keep your answers short and simple and do not answer questions that have not been asked. You may want to ask your child if you have answered their questions fully. If you genuinely do not know the answer to their question, it is okay. You can be honest and reply that you are not sure, but engage your child in researching the answer together. Remember, it can be a little awkward, but try to work through your embarrassment. Establish boundaries in line with your values. Having a clear conversation with your child about your expectations is the first step to managing their behavior. As children grow into teens, they begin to become more independent. Thus, setting reasonable boundaries will make them less likely to engage in risky behavior. Discussing topics such as curfew, sleepovers, dating, and visiting friends helps your child understand your values and behaviors that are appropriate. Let your child know that the rules you have in place come from a place of love and a desire to keep them safe. In addition, let your child know that when they are allowed to spend time at other children's houses, that there should be an adult present. Will talking to your child really make a difference? Parents have the most influence on a teen's decision about sex and relationships, even more important than their friends, siblings, or the media if they start the lines of communications early. Many teens agree that it would be easier to make a decision about sex if they could discuss it openly and honestly with their parents. Teens who talk to their parents about sex are more likely to put off having sexual encounter until they are older. They are more likely to make healthy choices like using condoms to prevent pregnancy and STDs when they choose to have sex. Be prepared to have the conversation. These types of conversations are difficult but needed. However, make sure that before having a conversation about sex with your child, you are comfortable and prepared emotionally. When talking to your child, especially your teen, it is important that parents are not judgmental or condescending to the child. If there are roadblocks put in place, children are likely not to feel that they can talk to the parent about such issues and will shut down communication. Parents, keep an open mind to your child's feelings so that it will yield for later discussions about other important matters in their life. As always, for more information on parenting issues, contact the Family Tree at www.familytreemd.org or call our 24-hour parenting helpline at 1-800-243-7337.